Hey guys, I'm RozaldVane, and welcome back to another episode of Lacuna. This will most likely be our last episode for the series, slash the game. We're going to hit to the end of the game. I'm going to try my best to get all the way to the end, depending on how long it takes. Because I had a feeling this is the ending point of the game, and I want to make sure I have enough time to cover everything, as well as put in my opinions, thoughts, and give a review and whatever of the game at this ending of an episode. So, yeah. Last episode we basically pulled the trigger, essentially. I'm trying to remember it. We interrogated James Moore, trying to get his information about the whatever. I still don't get who gave Cox the explosive, but I'm assuming it's Dyson anyways, or the mercenaries, whichever it might be. And then we went on to the night and talked to Saito. We threatened Saito to give us the data. We did kind of have a little bickering or arguments to try to get CDI involved, but in actuality, I didn't want that because I think that the CDI would prevent me from also looking into the data to figuring out the truth, which that's why I stayed by, truthfully, not to involve the CDI. But I did look into the data as Neil, and Neil leaked that data to the press of the Garian government, Garian press. So now there is a huge potential that the data doesn't matter even if I give it to the mercenaries because reasons. And I think Dyson would still pay anyways because he would want them to let go of our daughter or something like that, I bet. But we'll have to see. If the daughter dies, I don't know what to say because literally that's the worst ending that we literally put on ourselves. But yeah, so a lot of major events happened literally in the last episode, and we're gonna probably see all the repercussion of all our choices come up to this point of this ending. So let's get about it. If it's a bad ending, the worst ending, I'll live with it, because unfortunately there's multiple endings to this game, so we'll see what happens. I've been doing pretty good so far in terms of being a good guy, but I think the previous episode has proven that I've become the bad guy somehow. So now I'm probably gonna get screwed anyways. Let's see. Dad! Laura, I'm here now. You're going to be alright. Zora, you're up. Give me the stick. I need to check its contents. It's all there. Yeah, she has a browse through the folder and stuff. What the? Everything alright? Yeah, it's just I can't believe what I'm looking at. But we're good. This was the folder we targeted. Great. Thank you very much for helping us, Agent Conrad. You two are free to go. So that's it. You just let us walk out of here. We had a deal, didn't we? Stay quiet about it, and enjoy the rest of your life. I trust you will be true to your word. Zora vouched for you. Which was quite out of character, Zora. Mr. Conrad, if you act up, we'll consider our deal broken, and we will find you and your family. Thank you, Zora. Good luck, Aurora. Good luck, Aurora. I don't know how I say it. It sucks. Anyways, let's go home. Alright. Can I move, or does it just automatically transition us out? Oh, we're automatically walking on our own. I'm not doing anything. They're just doing their thing. I'm guessing we're gonna get shot at or something, but we'll see. I think this is what happens if CDI gets involved, is like we'll probably see a lot of problems differently, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Don't turn around. Keep walking. It's all going to be alright. You're safe now, okay? I kept my end of the bargain and they'll keep up theirs. Are you okay? Are you hurt? It's over. It's all over. Laura, are you hurt? No. Wait, what? Why is she running? Why is she running? And why is it slow-mo? Oh, don't tell me she's gonna get shot at. Wait, why are we running so slowly like this? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Is it because it's gonna blow up or something? I'm so confused. Why is the slow-mo running away like that? That's not great. That makes me worried that something's going down. Okay, it brights up. Okay. Oh, that's the end.
And that's it. The most tumultuous days of my life.
Will it matter?
Possibly in Garian history.
God.
Abbott Dyson has been charged with interplanetary terrorism, first-degree murder, and more that would put a normal person away for multiple lifetimes.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he is one of the world's most influential billionaires, and as it stands now, he isn't going to prison for more than a few years.
Oof.
It is rumored that he's putting someone else in charge of his company for the time being, and will be allowed back at his post after serving his sentence. With their mastermind unmasked, at least it's safe to say that the Liberators won't ever make another appearance.
Fair enough.
Even though Dyson and Cox each lost a lot in the Sector 2 incident, I don't believe their actions were really driven by a righteous thirst for revenge. Almost all the people who have suffered and might still suffer from their actions had nothing to do with Gara's past crimes. Ultimately, Dyson had tried to start an interplanetary war in hopes of increasing his profit margins, and he might still succeed in it.
Really? Did my leak actually help him? Is that the end of the story there? Oh no, it still goes.
The data I leaked sent a shockwave through the solar system. The source of the leak was quickly discovered, and the CDI not only fired me on the spot, but also tried to scrub me from their records and made all sorts of claims to discredit me. The Garian state scrambled to spin the narrative on the Sector 2 incident, but the data was authentic and unambiguous. 40 years ago, the Savient colony on Drovia had been sabotaged in a secret operation initiated by a handful of Gyara's top politicians, economic elites, and the CDI under the leadership of Amelia Thorne, now Attorney General and leader of the Garian Department of Justice. It became clear to me why she had tried to hide the data, fired the chief when he got too close, and ordered the arrest of Cox when she realized who he was. She is currently awaiting trial, along with a number of mostly retired politicians who were implicated in the conspiracy.
Deserved. Well deserved. Seriously. Well deserved. Seriously, though. Hey!
Lara is
reunited
at
last
and seems to be doing okay, but I wonder every day about the scars this experience has left behind.
Oh, I love this.
Even though I know I'm not directly to blame, I will never forgive myself for inadvertently dragging her into all this.
Oh.
As for me, I am free again, as free as I was before.
Beautiful.
But my life is forever changed.
Definitely.
Catherine and I are dating again, however crazy that sounds. Things are so different now. The world is so different that maybe something good can come of it again.
Dude, I want to put this as the outro. I really want to make this as the outro, like I did with other games. There's other games that I tried to do this, but it's hard to loop it, I think. Zora.
And finally, Zora. Easily the strangest person I've met in my life. Despite the terrible things she did, I'm grateful for her help when it really counted. I don't know if there is a path of redemption for her, but vouching for me might have been her first step towards it.
Why did that matter? I'm so confused about that one, actually. A game by Digitales. Alright, I'm gonna probably turn off the music from here because I want to make sure. It's a really good song, actually, I'm hearing. Let me hear this a little bit. Yeah, I think the credits will tell you what the song is, and then you can look it up for yourself. Or if you found it on YouTube, if you go to other YouTube videos that might have the ending music up, then I will allow that. That would be your best chance of hearing what the music is. The song is really good. It has vocals on it, actually. Yeah, it's a really interesting song. Anyways, so that's pretty much it for Lacuna. I kind of expected that we were hitting an ending here. In literally 10 minutes. Buzz Blackburn, English. So that was the only actor they could have hired for doing the voiceover of the character, I guess. Alright, I'm probably going to keep this episode pretty short, I guess, depending on how long I talk for. But there's a lot to say, actually, for this game, in my opinion. There's just so much to say because I didn't expect myself to go up to this long, nearly almost 20 episodes actually, almost 20 episodes. I don't think we hit 20. I think we hit like 16. This is the 16th episode, I think. Yeah, so yeah, this is Lacuna. What are my thoughts of the game so far? The game feels quite interesting, I think. It had exactly what I think was, like the big narrative stuff. But let me start with the goods, I guess. I have a lot of complaints, but that's just, like, they're not, like, bad to the point where I say, oh, this game sucks kind of thing. But as I said at the beginning of the game, it's a very text-heavy game. It's a very thick volume of, like, dialogues to world-building news articles, lots of, like, email stuff going on. And I think this game has a pretty decent world-building narrative going on in the background for this game. And I think that this game definitely did a decent job at trying to build this kind of world. Although this world and the other two planets, Drovia, Gara, New Joran, like all that stuff, although there's so much out there, it couldn't cover everything out there. It had only things that they have to do with New Joran, I believe it was that we were in, I think. Or no, let me think. I'm misinterpreting it. No, we're in the planet of Gara. Sorry, I'm confused. I'm so confused with the planet's names because they kind of zoom out and zoom in a lot. So yeah, planet of Gara they covered a lot of, but New Joran and Drovia, all the other planets that they were getting involved with was very just kind of like left to the side, and they were just there mentioned by name, but they never really dig too deep into the sense of, oh yeah, wait, no, it disappeared. I saw the weird thing over here on the announcements at one point. It's hilarious. Yeah, like they did a really decent job at trying to cover up the world building with the Garia stuff going on in the background. Actually, does it say? Let me see what Switch profile looks like. 100% epilogue. So it's just going to be the epilogue from here on out, I guess. They did a decent job in covering the world building stuff. I think that the choices that mattered for the endings and stuff like that were really cool, I think. I think the choices throughout the game was really awesome at times here and there. The investigation gameplay is by far one of the better quality ones. I think this is one of those games that had a really good investigation where it leaves the player kind of like thinking. Even some of the cases or some of the investigation points were easy and some of them were difficult. And sometimes difficult as in like you lack the understanding of stuff. And I think that if we did things differently, things would be a little bit more muddled. Like you really don't know the information sometimes because you became the bad cop kind of thing. And I bet that might be the case too. So I think I appreciate the way that the whole investigation can play out based on the narrative as well. So it's really an interesting way of describing or making the gameplay for narrative for the investigation stuff in this game that works with connection to the narrative of your choices, which I really appreciate. And of course, I appreciate the idea that there's so much different people that you get to go through, and kind of like cover as much like of the places that this planet has that you can visit from this particular place. And music was great. I actually liked music a lot throughout this whole game. I don't think everybody could hear it because I turned down the volume all the way. I think let me see the music. Yeah, the music's at 10%, so you might not hear as much as I did, but because I turned up the volume because there's really not a lot of loud noises that I turn up the music a lot for Lacuna. But yeah, there was a lot of good music points that I really liked listening to, and the ambience was great. Pixel art is fantastic, I think. Like you can see from the details on this particular like building structure and architecture, they're pretty great pixel art stuff. But I'll say that there's some pixel arts that were a little iffy, like the background here. Like it's not clear, and sometimes it just feels like there's less details in the background, which kind of sucks a little bit. But I think the best ones are the ones where we did like the whole, like, you know, when we saw the ending there with the three of the family, like the three characters, Kat, Laura, and Neil sitting on the rooftops. That was beautiful, and I think that like those kind of animation, pixel art animations were really fantastic throughout the game. Like the whole close-ups and stuff like that was really cool. And they always do the weird panning and in and out to kind of give you the view of the world and stuff like that, which is kind of aesthetically pleasing at the same time, so that's pretty much the case. But anyways, those are all the good things I want to bring up first, because I think bringing up all the good stuff is actually very important to kind of get me to my kind of like not so great parts. As I said at the start, yes, the game is very text heavy, so if you don't really like reading as much, this kind of game might not work for you. I think that that's a hard thing, because a lot of people, like players specifically, video gamers, don't read. Like I'm part of that problem too, but that's because we just get kind of tired and lazy, and we just want to just get to the action, I guess, a lot of the time. So if you're in a good, like if you have a good mood, or you're very open-minded about it, or you're just a really avid reader, I think this is it. But at the same time, this game kind of hits the point of being, you know, like almost like a mix between, almost, I wouldn't say it is a point and click adventure, but it kind of feels like it could be. But at the same time, it's primarily, mostly a visual novel with elements of moving through the space and having choices be timed, essentially, a lot of the time. Because a lot of visual novels, they don't have timed action, or timed, not timed action, but timed speech bubble choices and stuff like that. I think that the game had great choices, but then it's just like, at the same time, it felt like very not that great at the same time. So that's kind of the case of what I was thinking. But anyways, back to my point. Visual novel is more appropriate to what Lacuna is to me personally, which could depend on how you are as a player. It might not be suited for you at the same time. The other thing I would probably say about choices here, but mostly because it feels, I said it like 2 episodes ago, that some of the choices kind of feel weird, where they result in something positive. Like, I wasn't really I didn't like the fact that some characters will just come out of nowhere, like the bartender, or the old man Ed from the pier, the docks, or even the wife of James Moore 2 episodes ago, or even the brother of that Lotus Agency lady. Like, I felt that all these characters should not give me praise for making the right choice. Like, I shouldn't get any praise, because it felt like it was too heavy-handed to rewarding me as a player for choosing something that helps them, when I, for one, don't think I should get that help, because I feel like a lot of the game's narrative was a one-and-done deal. Like, that's my biggest problem with this game as well, because there's just this sort of, like, ever keep going, and I'm like forgetting that the bartender exists, the pianist from from the Sakura Hotel. I'm the one who will remember that. But if I took a break, like let's say if I took 5 years to play the next parts of this game, like if I finished Act 1 because I was so bored in 2021, I don't know when this game came out, I'm sorry. But if I said I took a break from it for like 3 years, I'm gonna forget all those people and be like, what's the point of these characters? Because there's so many characters. That's the other the double-edged sword, as I want to say. From earlier, I said there's a lot. It was cool to see a lot of characters, but there was just so many other characters that this game has like probably up to 50-ish different voices of characters. And I just can't believe how much writing has to go in it for all the branching details. I think that it's cool that it's branching, but it also makes a lot of the voices sound very like not like polished sometimes. Not always the case, but sometimes it just doesn't feel polished enough, or that there's just so many voices that it feels like characters get thrown away completely fast. Like the bartender, we never see again. We only get that reminder of it by talking to the chief when he was fired. Like the chief literally gave us a sort of rehash or review of what you chose to do, and that was the only time when I'm like, oh, okay, we got those characters being reminded to me again. But it's kind of weird because they were forever ago at this point. They were like so long ago now, that I just feel like that the habit of throwing away these characters made me feel a little bit annoyed with the whole thing. I mean, if you ask me, like, how do you fix that if you ever have a choice, I would say it's really difficult, too, because it's, like, having to write so much characters, but then have them never be a part to play to your bigger plan of the story kind of makes it hard. And, I mean, it's kind of like the simplicity or similarities of like shows in the US where we have like Law and Order, like the whole detective cases where we have to always bring in new people to be the criminal, to be the crook, to be the victim, to be the witness, etc., etc. And obviously those are episodic, but this is not an episodic journey. This is a full journey with start to finish, where the story has to consistently use everybody to some degree. And I can also see why this also becomes a double-edged sword too, because that's why they can't hire voice actors for this whole game, because there's just so many people talking. That's why I was finding it hard to voice everybody uniquely, and I try my best to. I screw up a few accents, I forget some of the people's like pitch accents, and I just really am frustrated at times that I'm like, I can't remember that guy's accent, but I try my best. You know, I know it's not the best thing, but it's just really tough to just have everyone have a different voice, have a different accent, to try to get something going into a different way. And it just bothers me the most with like how there's just so many different characters that end up getting thrown away, especially with the story being ever so evolving based on your choices. But that's one of those worrisome annoyances that I have with this game. And then the other annoyance is agency. Of course, there's not enough choices for me to make. I feel like a lot of the choices were very they made sense. I think that the agency, or the idea of having choices to select where you want to go, would have been interesting. I forget what other games had it with investigations, where you just choose a location, you go there, and then you investigate the whole area, and then you move to another location, and it kind of fills in whatever you might not know about if you go to a different location. It might be like a Sherlock Holmes game or something like that. I might be wrong. But like just going from places under my choice would have been more cooler than to just force me to go through a linear path. I think that's the biggest problem, is just having a linear path for the player to go through. It kind of makes everything kind of just I'm just following a story versus I'm making the choice for how the story would go. Which is, I guess, if they wanted that, as I said, it's like a more visual novel type game, then it makes more sense. Point and clicks really do let you just go to wherever the location is. Like, I remember playing The Longest Journey on the channel, and they do have like a map of the subway train, and we choose where we want to go, and then we go there to investigate whatever it is. So it would have been cooler to have it like that, but... And plus, it would give us more of a well thought out connection of the world. Like, how does this part of the district involve with this district, etc., etc. And we can kind of piece together the sort of world, this world that this is provided for us in Gara. Yeah, and then the beginning game just kind of felt kind of weird. It was like a very cold opener kind of thing, but it's just like I don't even know what was going on at the beginning, and it had nothing to do with anything besides the ending. And that's the other biggest complaint. It's just, why was the Sector 2's incident saved all the way to the end for us to think that, oh, now it's important? It's like, dude, don't hold it all the way to the end and never bring it up once or twice further. Like, we barely even get to see anybody. We like hear about the mining incident with the Moore family. We talked about we went through the Savian groups and stuff like that with the Lotus lady, Lotus agency lady. Like, it was just so very, like, beep up, very tiny little blips of, like, things that are happening, but I just don't think I'll remember them that well. So that's what ended up happening. It's just, I forget these things here and there, and it's just, they weren't as important as I thought they would be for the story, for Sector 2 specifically. But anyways, I think that should be what I should cover for now. I think that's pretty much my review, I think, for my thoughts and my opinions and my review so far. I don't think I have any more to say anyways. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I needed to say for what I think is the game. The problems of what I think is the game. The things that the game could have had that would have been better. And I know it might increase scope if I said like agency of choosing where to go, because it's hard to capture how the player is going to take what path to what, so it would have been more difficult, I think. But anyways, that's it for this episode. I'm going to end it here for now in this episode. Thank you guys for watching. So if you want to buy this game for yourself and play it, because as I said, there's multiple endings. I have a few achievements that I haven't achieved yet. There's 10 different endings, I think. I saw like a counter go up. Let me double check. I saw a counter go up for some weird reason. I just saw it. No, 8 different achievements. You might see the game freeze, so the menu freezing up. The achievements I got was rescue mission achievement unlocked, rescued achievement unlocked. Will it have mattered? Achievement unlocked. Master investigator achievement unlocked. Demonstrate your sleuthing skills. What did I do? Oh, is it because I got all the files in the game? I don't even know. Yeah, there's a lot of other achievements like don't smoke. I think it says healthy lifestyle. Or is this the right thing? To try to prevent a war. So we didn't prevent the war. We ended up getting, yeah, because the other option would have been like to prevent the war from happening. Cut corners whenever possible, literally. I don't really know, but okay. Yeah, I mean, essentially it's just, there's a lot more other things going on that I could have captured onto, but I don't think this is a game that I can see myself playing for more than once, because I already know how the story ends and what the options are. Where I just don't think that I'm that curious about what's going on. I kind of figured out the whole truth, essentially. It's just a matter of like what choices I make throughout the game that I would want to see myself going through, I guess. But who knows? Maybe we took the best ending. Maybe we took the worst ending. I have no clue. I think this is... I felt like it was a good ending because my character didn't die, and he just got fired. No jail time, which is beautiful. Get to go back with the family for once. The Drovian, or the people who were responsible for this whole criminal activity, got to stay in jail, but they kind of wanted to raise... They could probably still have their operation business and stuff. And then, of course, the criminals, the mercenaries are free to do whatever they're doing, except for Boyd. I don't know what's on. I don't know what's going on with Boyd still, so it's whatever that is. Yeah, but yeah, other endings could have been there. I don't know what it is, but I'll leave links down below for all the versions of Lacuna if you want to play them on the Switch, I think it is. Might be wrong. And all the consoles, maybe, whatever it is. Steam is what I'm playing it on, so if you want to play that on Steam, I'll leave a link down below as well. I know that this studio, I believe, the developers, made another game that came out this year, 2024, 2025. I can't remember exactly which year. I never got the title. I just briefly looked at it when I was browsing some other things. So there's another game they worked on. I don't know if I'll ever get onto it anytime soon. It'll probably be like far from now. But I am curious how much work they've done that might change based on Lacuna. But I think Lacuna is definitely one of those games where I feel like it has a lot of potential of growing. Like I think this studio will do a lot better in the next one, because I think this is a very iterative upgrade for them anyways, because if this is their starting point, I can imagine them doing a lot more, and I think that they will be pretty successful if they keep on finding the right footing and building a right audience for their games, and I think this might work out pretty well. Otherwise, what's next for the channel? What is the next game to play? I will make that decision in the next week. I know what it is. It's going to be a shorter game still. It's going to still be short games. I did say I was promising shorter games, but I ended up sticking to a game that ended up lasting longer than it should have. And I'm going to try to see what that might be in the next episode. Or not next episode. Next video when I get to that point. And yeah, I hope you guys join me on that journey for the next game. It might be another investigation game, another detective game. I mean, there's so many detective games out there now that I am still curious about, that I'm just like constantly getting into them for some reason, that I'm just like, okay, there's another detective game, here we go. But that will be the next thing. I'll get there when it gets the channel, when it gets released. And otherwise, check out other games. I've played a lot of games that are detective based, as Call of Cthulhu was one of them. Evil Within, if you count the characters being detectives. Sci-fi related ones like State of Mind is another one that I played recently, or not recently, but like a year ago at least at this point. What else is there? Yeah, there's some other like, and there's a lot of other side-scrolling kind of games that are up on the channel if you want to check them out. I've played a bunch of other things too. Case of Distrust is another good detective game that I went through and did a few voices on, or read over as with different voices on, like this one. So yeah, otherwise that's it for this episode, and that's it for this series of Lacuna. I hope you guys enjoyed this trip with me through Lacuna. I don't really know how well it's gonna do anyways, because people will not find the series ever until whatever time it is, because they're just like, whatever it is. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode, or not never. Nope. Hope to see you guys in another video or another series of mine. Hope you guys have a great, amazing day, week, and night, or whatever watching this. That will be it for Lacuna. There is no next episode. I just keep getting used to saying that a lot, so it's my fault. Again, I'll leave a link down below in the description box for the game if you want to play this game for yourself, pick it up for yourself. Summer sale's coming up, I believe, in the end of June 2025, so maybe this might go on sale. Check it out when you can. It's a pretty nice small series. I think it's a great game to play in bed on a Steam Deck as well too. Maybe it might be great too. But otherwise, that's it for this episode. So other than that, Roz